Just of making a video where everybody can hear me, I thought I would show you what the weather's like out here today. Right now it's around 83 degrees and it's about 10:45, so it's gonna get warmer. The sun has come this far into my patio, but right now I have this much shade. Looks like a mess over there, but I've been working and the wind has been blowing. There's my garden stool I put back together. And the nice thing is that I have this shade and this space to work in, which I've never had before. I used to try to work in the garage. I do have a 3-car garage, but it always had motorcycles and boats and cars in it, so that was hardly helpful. Anyway, all this stuff has just been blown over in the wind. This is a little, well, you can see what it is. It's very beat up and painted badly, and the wheels barely turn, but I used it as a shelf out in the garage, and right now it's very handy for me to put stuff on. And I think I'll eventually just move it over by the potting area and use it over there, because it's not very pretty. And this is a little, again, it's a little shelf. I bought it to put plants on somewhere out, either out there next to chairs or something. And I'm halfway thinking of, because it's exactly the right size, I'm halfway thinking of painting it and using it in my bathroom next to the bathtub. Anyway, it's very shabby chic. It's sturdy, but it's kind of rusty and grungy looking. If I leave it outside, it'll just be like this. If I take it inside, then I'll paint it. Here's the old umbrella frame. This actually blew over into our yard from someplace during another high wind a few years ago. It still has an umbrella cover, and it's a very sturdy, nice frame, and I plan to use it down there. So here it is, 10:30 in the morning, and it's already way too sunny and hot to work down there. But anyway, I'll come down and show you what's going on. Oh, here's a little piece of foil with an unusual shape to it. And I'll explain what that is and how it was used in just a minute. So anyway, got the water going to the sink, and I also have a sprayer. And when Scott hooked this up, he hooked the drain down. You can't see, it's probably too dark down there, but hooked the drain going straight down through the bottom of the shelf down there.
Meow, yes he did, yes he did.
And he took the water here from the sprinkler instead of from, I was just going to run a hose from that thing. But nope, he plumbed into the sprinkler right there, and then he dug a really deep hole across there and took the drain, which is the same kind of thing you use for a downspout, that big black stuff that you run underground. He ran that underground and hooked it into the downspout for, well, the drain for the downspouts on the house. So this drains literally out to the manhole drain system out on the street, all of which is underground, which is pretty amazing. So that's what happened back here. And I still have lots of plans for my shelves. I'm going to put all that wood up and make shelves across there, and another one across here. And then I'm going to take this lattice down and possibly use it somewhere as some kind of shade over this. But I'm also going to put shelves across there just for pots and stuff. And I'm still working on getting soil put into buckets and tubs and stuff, so it's not sitting around in plastic getting dried out and ruined. And that's just one pot that I put together with leftovers from other stuff that needs to get out of the sun as soon as I finish this. So here's the wisteria I'm working on rooting. So I trimmed it way back, and it looks dead, but it takes a while for it to root. And the little guys down here are still green, so we'll see what happens. And here's some very interesting pink ivy. Well, I mean ivy with pink edges. And I found this at the plant sale at Shasta College. Ardith invited me to go to, so that's where I got this and some strawberries and the tomato plants that I've got going. But this stuff is beautiful and very prolific, so I've trimmed it back and made 3 cuttings, and I used rooting hormone on it and just kind of fooling with it right now. But I'd like to make lots of pots of this because it is so pretty. I was hoping that this was star jasmine, but I'm pretty sure it's privet. They just come up all over the place out in the gravel. You can see there's so much sun on my screen I can't really see what I'm looking at, but you'll see little green things popping up. So I snagged a couple of those and put them in a pot to see what they would turn into. I was hoping they were star jasmine, but I think they're just stupid, ugly privet that fell down from this neighbor's tree over the fence. So I don't know what I'll do with them or if I'll keep them, but here's all of the star jasmine that I'm hoping to propagate. And you can see all of these whips that are coming off of the wisteria. Some of them are winding around themselves. We go around and trim them off. And just for, I don't know, what Nita calls shits and giggles, I've taken some of them and braided them together like this. That's just a start. But I'm going to do it again and lay bricks on it so it dries flat. And then keep a couple of these and weave them together. My whole idea is I want to make a trellis out of these, kind of a woven trellis out of woven wisteria things. So that's just experimental for fun. Here's a morning glory that Ardith brought over. She started it in her greenhouse, and trying to get myself out of the sun. It's growing so fast it needed a trellis to go up on it. It's already outgrown this little trellis I found, which is why I'm thinking, wow, I need more trellis. This is a gorgeous little pot that had flowers and was really, really doing well until a high wind came and knocked that ladder over right in the middle of it. It just smashed it flat. So I've got to cut it back and trim it back and replant some of it. So anyway, now I was coming over to show you the MacGyver system. So every day when the sun goes over to the west, it beats in through this dining room window and really, really, really heats up that room. And I still haven't decided whether I want windows on this, curtains or blinds on this window. And I tend to think I don't, but the sun is a problem. So I finally went out and bought this blind, which I wanted to hang up behind this kind of soffit thing, so it's not visible from the house when it's pulled up, and we only put it down when the sun reaches a certain area. But we've had nothing but trouble with this thing. And if you look up there, I'll go in really close. Those little things are meant to pop out if a child should find himself tangled and about to be strangled. So there's 3 of them, and they pop out all the time. Every time we turn around, they've just popped out all by themselves, and I swear we've had no children here, or even cats, trying to get strangled. And the other thing is that once they pop out, the string that comes down wraps itself around the string that goes to the pulley, and then everything gets tangled and we can't get it to lock. So we have done it over and over and over again. Yesterday we finally got everything untangled so the pulley would lock again, and then I got up there with that glue and glued those suckers in so they won't come out anymore. Okay, so we got that part handled. But in the meantime, when the pulley gets tangled, it won't lock. So my dear husband has been tying that cord around this faucet, which works okay, except now the faucet has developed a leak because apparently there's just enough pull on it that it's stressed out, so it drips, 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 and you can see all the water that's dripping, dripping, dripping. So yesterday, speaking of the foil that you saw back there a while ago, Ron had wrapped foil around so it would make kind of a channel and drip down into the little water dish we keep for the cat and not splash on the house. But of course the wind comes up and that blows it away, which leads me to my solution, which I consider a genius MacGyver, and here it is. So, coming over here, and what I have is this, which comes from the Container Store. You may recognize it, and it's meant to connect two bottles together when you want to drain one into the other. Okay, so let me back off a little bit. Stop that. Something's going weird. Stop it.